Have you ever wondered why some people never seem to grow up? Even as adults, they always have excuses, avoid responsibility, and live in their own fantasies. In this video, with the help of the famous psychotherapist Carl Jung, we'll explore the complex world of these people, those Jung called the eternal children. He explained the hidden reasons behind why they stay stuck in childhood and why their lives often hit a dead end. More importantly, we'll see how one can break free from this destructive cycle. According to Jung, there are two main causes behind the eternal child personality. The first is the absence or emotional unavailability of the father. The second is the mother's overprotectiveness as she tries to fill that empty space. Children raised in this kind of environment often develop what Jung called the mother complex. This means they fail to develop the independence and self-sufficiency that are essential for emotional maturity. It's as if they remain stuck, unable to fully step into adulthood. People with this complex usually feel a strong desire to enter the real world, to be successful and independent. But as Jung explains in his book Ion, their main struggle lies much deeper than a simple lack of effort or motivation. These people can never seem to stay committed to what they start. They begin things with excitement but rarely finish them. Their ability to take initiative and persist is paralyzed by a hidden, unconscious memory, the sweet memory of childhood. A memory that made them believe happiness is something that can simply be given to them as a gift from their mother. But Jung writes that in the real world, things don't work that way. The world demands more than just desire. It asks for courage, passion, and decisive action. Jung explained that people trapped in the mother complex unconsciously believe happiness is something that will just be handed to them, just like the comfort and protection they once received as children. In simple terms, instead of fighting for what they want, they expect success to fall into their laps. Jung said that to achieve anything, you must give yourself completely and work for it. The world doesn't give you anything for free. You have to fight for it. The mother complex keeps the eternal child stuck in fantasy. They can't bring their dreams into reality or build a bridge between imagination and the real world. They may have big ambitions, but because of poor upbringing and the lack of a proper role model, they don't know where to start or how to shape their own destiny. Their upbringing plays a huge role in this. The controlling mother always made sure every little discomfort was immediately fixed, never allowing the child to experience hardship. Meanwhile, the father was either absent or too weak to provide an example of patience, discipline, or endurance. The result is an adult who struggles to take responsibility and face life's challenges. Because of this incomplete upbringing, the eternal child can't cope with the real world. They withdraw from reality and take refuge in their fantasies. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard described this beautifully. He said nothing is more thrilling than imagining endless possibilities and optimistic futures. This shows how the eternal child prefers to lose themselves in a world of what-ifs instead of confronting reality. Marie-Louise von Franz, one of Jung's most prominent students, wrote that the eternal child constantly jumps from one idea to another, playing in their mind with thousands of possibilities, but never focusing long enough on one to bring it to life. Instead of realizing how uncommitted and aimless they've become, they justify it with a simple belief. Someday, everything will just work out. They convince themselves that one day, life will magically fall into place. But the truth is, for many people, that someday never comes. Erich Fromm described this behavior with a brilliant example. A talented writer who always dreamed of writing the greatest novel ever, but never actually wrote a single word. For years, he told himself he was working on it, when in reality, he was only daydreaming about the idea. As these people grow older, they cling even more tightly to that illusion that one day they'll finally do it. But that day never comes because they never take the first real step. So why can't the eternal child adapt to reality? Their endless jumping between ideas, their belief that time will fix everything, those are just surface symptoms. The real problem lies deeper in their emotional core, a belief that real life isn't worth the struggle. And that belief traces back to childhood, to a controlling mother who made life too easy and too ideal. Because the mother made life too easy and too comfortable, the eternal child never truly experienced the struggles, failures, or disappointments that every adolescent needs in order to grow and adapt to reality. Instead, they cling to the idealized memories of childhood and the image of their mother, using those as the main reference point for their life. But what are the consequences of this mindset? An endless obsession with finding flaws. The eternal child constantly compares everything to the perfection of their childhood memories. Naturally, the real world can never offer the same safety and comfort as childhood, so they remain perpetually dissatisfied. They make excuses to avoid engaging with real life and instead focus on what's wrong with every situation. Whether it's a job, a career path, or even a romantic relationship, they always find a reason to say, "This isn't what I really want." And that mindset comes at a heavy price. The mother complex turns the eternal child into a perfectionist, and perfectionists can never truly adapt to reality because they demand flawlessness in everything. This obsession with ideals blocks them from experiencing real joy and ultimately ruins their lives. Jung warned that the lifestyle of the eternal child inevitably leads to despair. In Spirit and Life, he wrote, "The young man who tries to carry his childish self-centeredness into adulthood must pay for it with failure in society." However, Søren Kierkegaard offered a more hopeful view. He said that when we finally realize the paths we've taken are meaningless, the desire for a higher, more authentic way of living becomes an undeniable necessity. So how can the eternal child reach that higher level of existence? Jung admitted it's not easy. It's a long journey filled with challenges. In the second chapter of Man and His Symbols, under the concept of the dual mother, he explained that if the eternal child wants to truly live, they must fight and sacrifice their attachment to the past in order to rise. The natural flow of life demands that the young person give up their childish dependence on their parents. Otherwise, both body and soul will remain trapped in an unhealthy emotional bond, a prison disguised as comfort.